This is Calabucas with Think Future. You ever had a situation where you just got sort of felt like you were hit in the head with a hammer because something that you were doing or what was told you were doing is so obvious, but you never even thought about it? I had this happen to me the other day. I was talking to a social media expert, a social media influencer who had hundreds of thousands of views for her YouTube channels and her Instagram pages. And I started with the consultation, but she asked me what I did. And I said, well, what I do is I look to the future. I help people to use futurist tools to inform their leadership capabilities, to inform their strategic plans, to design new products, new patents, product management, etc. And she said, well, what do you do to support that vision? And I said, well, I do this show, and I do another show, and I do this show, and this show, and reach it, blah, 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 blah. And then she said, there was a pause. And she said, why? And I thought to myself, that's interesting. Why? Why do I do all of this stuff? Does it support my vision? And that's what she said. She right after that, she said, does everything that you're doing support your vision? And I thought to myself, wow. I felt like I was hit with a hammer. I'm like, here I go, talking to startups and corporate innovators day after day after day, telling them to focus. And myself, I wasn't focused myself. I personally wasn't focused. I was going off doing 4 different shows when I really should just be focusing on this one, and the one that supports my vision, what I'm trying to do, where I'm trying to go, my vision of trying to help people and companies to embrace change. And to help them embrace that change is to give them the tools of the professional futurists to help them to see the change coming and to be able to build resilience against that change. That's what I told her. And she said, well, that's what you need to communicate. And I just thought it was just such a revelation that here I am. I was telling people this day in, day out. You need to focus, you need to focus, you need to focus. And here I wasn't focusing myself. And sometimes you need somebody else to tell you what you're doing wrong. Because a lot of times we think we're so smart. We think we're so intelligent. We think we know what we're doing. We think as we go through life, day after day after day after day, we learn things and we apply things. We learn things and we apply things. But sometimes you really need that external vision, that external individual, that coach, that trainer, that training program, that book, whatever it is, that YouTube video. You need that specific external impetus to have you just stop and say to yourself, why? Why are you doing this? And are you doing what you should be doing in order to focus on your core vision? And I used to complain about this all the time. I used to complain that magazines like Wired and Rolling Stone and all these other magazines, they started getting political, right? It's like, I'm not reading Wired magazine because I want to talk about politics or hear about Trump or whatever. I want to hear about the future. I want to hear about technology. And that's the reason why I used to buy Wired magazine. I want to hear about technology. I don't want to hear about politics. So here I was complaining about other people being unfocused when I personally myself wasn't focused. It's hilarious. So from now on, I'm going to reduce the amount of content that I'm creating, but I'm going to laser focus that content specifically on the task at hand, focusing on exactly the goal I'm trying to reach. And that's to help you to embrace change, because life is change and you need all the tools at your disposal to be able to embrace the disruptions that are coming down the pipe.